Take 2, episode 7, Nerds with Grit Hockey Podcast. I'm Big T with my main man Josh, who's got a sweet little jersey we're going to talk about in a second. Aaron and I have been pretty much feuding all day. It started at the Roundy at the store at work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We got some good takes. We're going to hash it out. We're going to use you, Josh, to be the final say, but we know how these nerds stick together. Josh already said, he's like, oh yeah, like I'm already gonna like Aaron's take. I'm like,
historically I have.
Nerds think alike. That's how it's. Your jersey, man, it's sweet. 88 Sharks, that sweet vintage color. Is that the first color they came?
It is, yeah. It's a Brent Burns San Jose Sharks jersey from the 2015-16 season. I believe the official title of the jersey was like a heritage jersey. It's basically just a remade version of the first jersey the Sharks wore, and it's amazing.
I don't know, like, if the Sharks are old enough to get heritage status yet.
No, but for them, for their own thing.
Aaron liked it right. You thought maybe it was his best one yet.
It's out there.
It's from what I've seen. It's a gorgeous color.
Yeah, this is top 3.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's probably this, my Medano jersey, and probably my Flames pedestal jersey.
Yeah, the Medano one was sick.
Yeah,
it really was. So, what is it? It's Thursday night.
Yep.
Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals will play Saturday night. We had a little look at the schedule. We talked about it. At first I was kind of confused of why it started on the 8th and then Game 7, if necessary, was June 24th. We talked about the flight schedule and all that, but who you got, who you like, and we're gonna do our best to unpack it. But first of all, Aaron said that there's that they're maybe doing, what is it, layovers? What's going on with that? They're not doing layovers.
Well, it's not fair for me to say this right now because I don't know. I thought I had heard it from a reputable source. I won't say who because I don't know, but I thought that's what I had heard is that these, and to me it didn't make sense when I heard it because obviously you think, well, these guys are millionaires, they're getting paid by billionaires, and they obviously have to have, well, private flights, but also you'd think it would just be directly there. But I mean, at least from what I thought I had heard is that they were having layovers.
Josh?
I don't know. I mean, I agree with Aaron.
I don't know.
It's serious. I don't know their NHL flight schedules and their patterns.
So there's no way they're doing layovers.
There could be. I don't know. Maybe there's reasons that they're private plane because it's probably going to be a private jet. It should be a private jet. There's no way they're flying.
They're flying with a public.
Yeah.
McDavid's not pleased. Not with the fans. He's seeing the same fans
in the back.
He's seen the same fans that bugged him.
Wing seat there.
Hey, did you see that, Josh? The fans that bugged him when he was grabbing beer.
I did see that. Oilers fans, leave your star alone. Let him get drunk with his teammates.
What are you talking about?
There's a video going around of McDavid carrying. Is it beers? It looks like beers.
Probably like Coors and ciders.
Some cider, probably.
McDavid's a cider guy.
Maybe.
Come on.
But
this guy wants more eat cider.
Videoing him and trying to get in a picture with him, or I don't know what they're asking.
But where was this? Where was he? Slugging beers at a bar?
No. He was taking him to his car. He was probably gonna. It was right after they won. I think he was probably gonna go have a party with the teammates
from the liquor store with teammates or family friends.
Out of the liquor store.
Yeah.
Fans were bugging him.
Obviously, why would? That's weird. They were probably Flames fans, buddy. Let's get over that.
Edmonton, no chance.
I highly doubt that.
So June 8th, June 10th, and then they have the travel day. There's no doubt about that is. We looked it up. We Googled. There was approximately about a 6-hour flight, Edmonton to Miami. And then they go 13th, 15th, and then if necessary, Game 5 is on June 18th, and then June 24th would be the finals. Is this one going 7 though? Honestly, why not?
Good. It definitely could. The last couple series, I'm like, Edmonton should lose this, and they're still here, so good on them. The Oilers fans should be very pleased. I work with a couple Oilers fans. I'm very happy for them. I hate it myself, but they're here, and I think there's a chance that they could force it. They force it. They haven't played a game yet. That this could go to 7 for sure, 100%.
What do you got? Is it going 7, 6?
I don't have it going
6 in
7.
Edmonton?
I think my bet was well, not my bet, but I would probably guess 7 games for the Panthers. Yeah, that's my take. I think it is a lot closer than people think. And just to be fair, Edmonton beat the Canucks.
Yep.
And I've had the Panthers on my, probably going to win the cup, if not Carolina.
Yep.
That was kind of my thought, especially once Carolina was eliminated. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be the Panthers. And now, the more I think about it and see it, it's like, you know what? Edmonton's got a shot. They definitely do.
They absolutely do.
So, a lot of things have to go right.
They have a shot. Yeah, of course, they're there.
Well, they're there. Montreal was there a couple years ago. You said if they're there.
Yeah, well, Carey Price has never been the same since that.
That's true.
Down that he got. So, you know what? That was a weird one. That one sucked. That one hurt. That actually leads right into my next question. Honestly, Josh, as being a Flames fan, can you even cheer for the Edmonton Oilers from Canada? Because, like I said, I could not and never would cheer for Montreal, especially when they beat out the Leafs. I think 100%. The last team before that was Ottawa, Canadian team. Kind of put you guys on the spot. Did Ottawa sneak in the finals 5 or 6 years ago?
Almost. It was Penguins. The Penguins beat them in it was OT game 6, I think, and the Penguins went on to beat
the last Canadian team?
Last Canadian team before Montreal.
Before Montreal.
That would have.
Sorry, that won?
No, just made the finals. Was that
Vancouver?
Oh, that was Vancouver. That's Vancouver, 2011.
Well done. Yeah. How'd that go?
Not too well. It was almost Ottawa against when they lost to Pittsburgh. They were a goal away in overtime. Kunitz with the huge clapper.
Is it possible, Josh, to cheer for the Oilers at all? What if McDavid lifts the cup?
Good for him.
Yeah,
100% good for him. McDavid should definitely win a cup in his career. It'd be a crime to not see him win a cup. Because it really sucks when some of the best players that ever play in the league don't get it.
I put him on a 5-year plan 2 years ago. It's going to happen. So
good. But I would just personally prefer to see him lift it with another team. Basically, any other teams. Yeah, screw your own. I don't know.
Okay.
No, again, as a Flames fan, I feel like you ask any Oilers fan too, do you expect the Flames fans to be cheering for you? They'd go, no, because if the situation were reversed, and would I expect Oilers fans to be happy for the Flames to be in the cup? Not at all. No.
I would never be happy if the Montreal Canadiens or the Ottawa Senators.
And that's perfectly fair. I know there are some people who wouldn't mind it. Actually, my boss is an Oilers fan there, and he was telling me when the Flames made it in 2004 against Tampa, he actually was cheering for the Flames because I believe they had more Canadians on the team, I think. And fair enough. And if some Flames fans are cheering for Edmonton, because I think they got 22 Canadians on the roster, I think they said
they have a large amount, yeah.
Hey, that's cool. You do you. Don't be like, hey, you should cheer for the Oilers, because no, screw them. They're the biggest rival. I want them to lose. Plain and simple.
I love how you talked about the Canadian factor. Don Cher's been preaching that for years and years and years, well before he got let go. And it's true. It's well documented, and people talk about it all the time. Canadians, big, strong dudes, passionate about winning the Stanley Cup on your team is a perfect and very, very valuable mix to win the Stanley Cup.
I suppose. There are the Americans are very good at hockey too. They're also very passionate about it. Swedes are very passionate about hockey, 100%. Right. What do you mean, Russians? Same thing. There's a lot of great players. There's no longer just the Canadians and everyone else. You look at international play, and it's not Canada's not just completely atop the throne. They're still arguably the best nation, but still, that's besides the point.
No, I think it's going to be Austria pretty quick here.
It could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah, right. So I got a bunch of the stuff I want to ask you, a bunch of questions. right away, a couple guys who are not Canadian, shutdown status guys, Barkov and, how am I saying that? Forsling?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Close with Forsling, I think.
Forsling, the defenseman, the shutdown D guy for Florida.
Can I
He
slide
just
in?
floats around out there, physical dude, and it's just super hard to play against. But Barkov is the guy that's going to be playing the most against McDavid. McDavid is fending off guys that try to line up against him all playoffs long. What's that going to look like? I mean, do you just think that they're going to hold on, or do you think that that's going to be like a major key to the series, is just trying their best to shut down McDavid?
Well, one thing, if you don't mind me, Josh, I want to kind of take this a bit, dive into it a bit.
100%.
I mean, first of all, you'd think ideally you want the Selke type guy to go against McDavid. You could also argue that Bennett, who might be a bit more of a pest, pain in the butt, also would be Tkachuk to play against McDavid, because that would really, pester him. Put the big body Barkov against Draisaitl. Not saying that's how it's going to go, but it could go that way. But whoever is out there, they are more, thankfully Florida is, and that's why they've gotten here. They're more than just how elite Barkov is and how elite Tkachuk is.
Yeah.
On Barkov's line, it's Reinhart and it could be any one of guys. I think it's been sometimes Verhaeghe, sometimes it's Tarasenko. I think Tarasenko has been on the third line lately, so maybe it's Erod. But
Erod's been playing up there.
Yeah, and then you have Tkachuk, Bennett, and then, again, Verhaeghe. So it's not just going to... ideally it's your center versus the center. But, there are multiple guys on those lines, and it's going to be big for guys like even Hyman and Kane, whoever's going to be, because Edmonton has shifted their lines quite a bit throughout the playoffs, and that'll be really interesting as seeing, are they going to be doing that again, depending on if they're struggling, if they're doing well, or are they going to keep it pretty consistent? You're probably always going to see Hyman next to McDavid, but even I think at the end of the Dallas series, it was like Draisaitl was playing with Perry and McLeod, which I thought was really interesting because, McLeod's like a distraction for his speed, and Perry's a distraction because it's Perry, and Draisaitl's elite, and then it also gives you the depth, and that's going to be a big topic, was going to be the depth of Florida versus the depth of Edmonton, and I think Edmonton does have enough guys. We can all see that the Panthers are obviously the deeper team, for the most part. I think most people would say that, but so are the Stars. And it's about what is the Oilers' depth doing to get them to win the next game. So
exactly. No, I fully agree with that. There, you make a good point there, good idea with maybe putting some of your more agitating players like Bennett or Tkachuk up against McDavid, because you might because with McDavid and Draisaitl, if we're being honest, it's not gonna be about shutting them down. You're not going to be able to completely shutting them down. It's going to be about containing them to the best of your ability, limiting the damage you can, and then ideally taking advantage of hopefully having the better depth. And when they're not on the ice, that's when you got to strike.
Well, you guys used the depth word a lot there. That kind of, knocked down the door of the question I was going to line up about, the Oilers' Stars and McDavid and Draisaitl. I've been throwing Hyman there as well, too, but then how's that match up against the depth of Florida? You guys kind of just unpacked that there. Getting back to, honestly, guys, I would have to, just really hammer home. Barkov is going to play as much as he can against McDavid. They don't need Tkachuk, and they don't need Verhaeghe and all these other guys that are pretty much supposed to be scoring, because Barkov's not scoring, right? He's not scoring that much in the postseason.
Point per game.
False. Yeah, he's been he's number 2, I think, on the Panthers.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. But I'm getting back to the point there. He needs to be playing against McDavid the most. I think that's going to be his most assignment. And for anyone to suggest that Barkov's going to pop off and get 7 goals in this series, it's just not going to happen. But
of course not.
Tkachuk could get 7 goals in this series. Verhaeghe could get 7 goals in this series. And that would, for me, would be the healthy mix of them having success. But I want to just get back to, I think Barkov is going to line up against McDavid every single chance he gets, and that's good. He just won the top defenseman forward of the year. I mean, why would his main 90% assignment not be to just line up against the most dominant offensive player in the game?
Well, the second most dominant player you could argue is Draisaitl.
Did you find, well, you can't cover them both at the same time. Did you find out his stats? What's he doing for stats?
What, Barkov?
He said he was a point a game guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get that up here.
And they see Barkov. Alexander Barkov.
I will take a note back to go backwards a bit on.
You can't do that.
What do you mean?
Call me out on him being a point per game guy and not have the stat like right on the tip of your fingertip.
I just did.
You
17
nerds,
games
nerd it
played,
up.
17 points.
There you go.
Oh, I like how you're calling counting stats like points, nerdy stats. That's yes.
No, I'm just saying if you're gonna say, then you gotta be like right away, because I kept yapping like I do. You gotta have that right on the instead of being like, yeah, I'm on it. Aaron's, I'm on it.
Man, no, it's because we've been following the postseason and we just know, okay, yeah, Barkov's been scoring.
So I guess that's gonna just jump right into my next question. Is I want to get right into Conn Smythe and review that. Who do you guys got right now? I mean, I said McDavid. Yep. I said McDavid a long time ago.
That's a good
if
pick.
there's going to be any type of person that's going to be frontline center for the Conn Smythe, it's going to be McDavid or Draisaitl. Seems like McDavid is kind of leapfrogged him into that.
Now, yeah.
Who do you like? Who do you like over there, Aaron?
I like Bouchard. I think
that's a fun pick. That's a fun pick. I
mean, it is a fun pick.
I think the truth is, I would, like, being honest, I would be really surprised. Like, even I think it could be like how Washington had it, where it's like, maybe it should have gone to Kuznetsov that year, but it's Ovi and it's his team.
Yeah.
And the truth is, McDavid has overstepped Draisaitl, and maybe we thought that Draisaitl was going to be that guy, but I mean, even the goal against Dallas in Game 6, where they only got 10 shots, but he's still pulling off a highlight reel goal, and Edmonton has that confidence and swagger. It's like McDavid's at the top of his game right now.
Yeah.
And I also think that Bouchard's a pretty good honorable mention, but
absolutely,
and that's why I said his name. And I think I saw a stat earlier. It was like all time, a certain amount of games, maybe like 50 games, most points by a playoff defenseman. Bouchard is right up there with like guys like Paul Coffey, right? So, he's having in a way, he's kind of having a breakout season. He has had a breakout season and a breakout playoffs. But obviously all these guys are playing together and they're playing very well. They're at the top of their game. So Bouchard's a fun pick. It'll probably be McDavid if it's Edmonton, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bouchard continues to have a huge playoff, where he would be over Draisaitl for me.
I like this one here. I got this stat up here. Bouchard, even strength points. He has got 15 even strength points. Heiskanen is the only guy to anywhere close to that, and the Heiskanen in a very, very, very long time. And Heiskanen did that in 2020. Bouchard 6 goals, 21 points. 15 of those are even strength, though.
It does show that it's not only the power play, too, which has been elite, right?
Yep.
Sorry, Tyler, I was kind of cutting you off there. I just wanted to add that in.
Sorry, guys, we're always going to be cutting each other off. Always going to be fighting for that mic. But Josh, who do you like? Who do you like in the Conn Smythe? Who's your guy? Who you picking, and who'd you pick before?
I picked Matt Tkachuk before. I could and probably will just be boring and pick Matt Tkachuk again, because I do think if Florida wins the Cup, it's probably going to be either Tkachuk or Barkov. I really think it just depends
who takes another step in this series,
how they perform in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Barkov has been fantastic, of course. Tkachuk does have 2 more points. Somebody who's got 19 points in 7 games, and it's just been incredible for them this postseason. There is a real possibility at this point, because they made it to the finals, that even if they lose, McDavid still wins the Conn Smythe.
They would probably have to.
You'd have to have an incredible series.
Yeah, of course.
He'd have to touch double digits.
Yeah.
He's only got 5 goals. I mean, he's got 25 feeds, but still. I mean, for me, you gotta flip that. You
He's
almost
only
gotta
got 30
flip
points
that.
in what is it?
Yeah,
18
I know.
games or whatever.
I know.
That's
You
that's
got to
not
get
good.
really into it though. Like how many of those are like possible secondary power
cares?
play assists? I understand, but
cares?
I'm saying goals. If you flip that, if he puts up like 20 plus goals,
Then he has the record.
Yeah, exactly.
the record for most goals
19.
is the most goals in the postseason.
Hyman's 5 away.
Is
And
he?
it's got to be Wayne
Wow.
Gretzky. It's got to be Wayne.
Probably.
19 goals. That's it.
It's hard to score goals, man.
In the playoffs.
Come on, I know that, but
And
I'm
plus,
just saying.
if you're a player that scores if you're a player that scores 19 playoff goals, you're
I really
probably on a
like
team that's also swept a couple teams.
I really maybe. I really like that you knew that though. That's impressive. It's the great one, right?
I assume.
mean, the guy-
I think I'm pretty sure it is.
You threw that number out there, but you didn't know who it was? Wow.
I have very selective memory. I don't care who it is.
Back in your brain,
I just know
you
that Zach
opened up
Hyman's 5
one of the
away.
doors.
That's all I know.
Okay. Well, gee, I hope he gets it. Well, I love watching history in the making.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's teed up right now. It just, for me, Draisaitl's just not there, even though he's touched with double-digit goals. It's McDavid, and I would say, I really like that, Ovechkin.
It's not
Conn
Gretzky.
Smythe. Who is it? Let me guess.
You're never going to get this.
Yeah, I will.
No, my dad would get this.
Hey, where is it? What era?
1975-76.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! It was it a Philadelphia Flyer?
Yep.
It was Bobby Clark.
Nope.
Oh gosh, who else? Help me out, Aaron. Do you know anybody back in that era?
From that era.
There's two. I should say there's two.
It's a tie.
There's two with 19. The
Okay,
other,
just tell us who it is.
So-
They're both Flyers.
no, the other guy was from
Hold
84,
on.
85.
Okay, 84-85. It's Jerry Curry.
Yes.
Yeah. Ship it. Yeah. Now, who's this guy from Philly though?
Reggie Leach.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I would have not got that for
Gretzky
sure.
has,
I nailed that Curry though, eh? It's
yeah,
like
that
it's
was good.
if it's not the great one, it's got to be.
Gretzky only has Gretzky has 17
Yeah,
goals.
only 17.
Sakic actually has
15?
18 in 95-96.
That's impressive.
They
Wow.
swept the Panthers that year.
Did they? I thought that maybe it was in 5.
In 95-96, it was. It might have been.
Uwe
5.
Krupp scored. No, he probably did score.
I'm pretty sure it
in
was a sweep,
game
though.
4 in Florida because I don't think they won that at home.
I think that
You're
was the
probably
closest
right.
game. Was game.
I just want to point out here though, Barkov. I pulled this off the score app. I yanked it off there. They're the top 5 for Conn Smythe potential trophy winner. Barkov was second, and we talked about not too much razzle dazzle. You got to give me that a little bit. 6 goals and 11 assists.
What, for Barkov?
That was like he's not lighting it up.
He's got 17 points in 17 games. What do you mean? He's tied for second on his team with points. How is he not lighting it up? He's been one of the Panthers' best players.
That was like a guppy voice getting ready to eaten up by a shark with his San Jose shark.
Did you just make a Bubble Guppies reference?
I don't know what I did.
I don't even know what that is.
That's what I mean.
Hey, I got this one here too. I got Legacies, potential Legacies in the making. This is kind of going to shore up the Stanley Cup Finals for us. I briefly ran this by you guys before we decided it was going to be a good take. Connor McDavid enters the GOAT conversation. Now let me just hold on to that for a second. He is the most skilled, talented player of all time. Yes? Yes, obviously.
I don't disagree.
No, who could? Show me the person that does. Yeah, well, what do you mean defensively?
That's a good argument.
Yeah, okay, don't throw me off like that. Offensively, what are we talking about? The most skilled defensive guy of all time? Nicholas Lindstrom, isn't it? Isn't it?
Forwards?
No,
Or just
I'm
in
talking
general?
about just in general. It's Nicholas Lindstrom.
Lindstrom's
He
out
got me
there.
off my mark a little bit, but I'm not going to stay off it. Of course, the most offensive GOAT of all time. If he wins, he will officially check off the box of Stanley Cup ring.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So then he's gonna enter into the GOAT realm. If he doesn't, then it'll just be hanging over his head, and he'll be like the greatest skilled player to not ever win a Stanley Cup.
Still could be one of the greatest player of all time, even if he doesn't win it. Look at Mike Trout for the Angels. They were with baseball.
Oh man,
Yeah,
don't
who's the greatest baseball player of all time? Is it Mike
I
Trout?
would argue Mike Trout.
He's
I
one of
would
the
argue
most
Mike Trout.
talented.
But he hasn't
guys of
won,
all
so he
time.
couldn't be it.
Exactly,
That automatically
yeah, that's
disqualifies
He's one
you.
of the most
Him being
skilled
on
guys of
terrible
all time.
teams.
He's just priming you up for our next question that we have about lack of Stanley Cups. So just get ready.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
going there. We're going there soon. Okay, obviously, yes, the GOAT status will be boosted big time if McDavid.
It would help.
It
definitely
will
helps,
help.
yeah.
Well, I'm talking legacy here. What about this one here? Because I mentioned this before, and you guys didn't really say much. If Pavelski wins the Stanley Cup, does that put him in first ballot Hall of Fame status?
No.
No?
No.
So you think that Lundqvist has a better career kind of thing?
Yeah. Lundqvist had, when Lundqvist didn't
I
win
don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying.
yeah, no,
Hall of Fame is measured also by Stanley Cups.
It shouldn't be.
Entry.
It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. It helps. I'm not saying it doesn't help, of course. Of course it helps. But, looking at a player's career and being like, oh, they never won a Stanley Cup, that must mean they're not good.
Who's the greatest NHL player to not win a Stanley Cup?
God, Iginla's up there. Iginla's
Yeah, okay.
definitely up there.
It's not Iginla, in my opinion.
Thornton, Marlowe. Well, maybe not Marlowe.
What about
but
Marcel Dion? That's the auto.
He's up there.
The auto is kind of Marcel Dion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little. If we asked your dad, Mitch, he would say Marcel Dion, respectively. But I didn't mind your other ones. Iginla, you know how much I love Iginla.
625
Iginla
goals.
is in the top
624.
4-ish for sure, maybe 3.
100%.
In my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And
Love
buddy,
it.
trust
Love
me,
it.
I never watched Marcel Dion play. Did you watch Marcel Dion play, Aaron?
Were we alive
The
when he
chubby
played?
little 5'8" amazing goal scorer with that little gold and purple. That's
Classic
what you
unis.
need. You
Classic.
need one of those.
I want one of those. I got my
Drew
brother.
Doughty, LA Kings.
No. Well, I like Doughty.
Don't say you're gonna get someone
Quentin
weird.
Byfield.
Get a Nick
absolutely.
Down jersey.
No.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Kopitar would be respectful.
Kopitar would be good.
I kind of jam with the Canadian guys though. If I'm gonna get a jersey and put his name on my back, I want a Canadian guy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Last one here, Legacy. We're talking about legacies. Again, back to the blue ice. If
Hold on,
Skinner,
just one sec. Because we just said we kind of blew past Bob there,
you're right. We did a little bit, but you said no.
I said no because he's had a good
I said
career.
first ballot.
Yeah, first ballot. No, I wouldn't be shocked if he eventually makes it in, and if he wins a cup, that would definitely help. But Bob's just had such an up and down career where he wins the Vezina, and
He's
then the next
35.
year he's completely unplayable.
Yeah.
He was not the starter last year for Florida for so much of their season. He wasn't the starter going into the playoffs, and then he
doesn't
became
give
the starter,
you-
and they rode them all the way to the
He
cup.
doesn't give you a Tom Barrasso, Mike Vernon, Mike Richter
Mike
kind of
Vernon's
vibe or something like that. Those guys are Hall of Fame guys.
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't get it on the first ballot. No.
Okay. Aaron, do you concur?
I'm trying to look through Hall of Famers, and
Did you
hate
say my Lundqvist comparison though? Because Lundqvist was a first ballot Hall of Fame.
He was,
He's also
yeah.
extremely handsome.
Yes.
Yeah, that
The
probably
handsomest
goes
man.
into
Yeah,
it,
think
honestly.
about his face. They got his face on the shrine. Imagine
That's
the guy
a good
that
shrine.
couldn't
That's
mess
a
that
good
up.
shrine.
Imagine how gorgeous you had to make Lundqvist's face. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you're throwing Kopitar's face on there.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
fair.
have this perfect chiseled jaw. I don't even know what Pavelski looks like.
I have a picture for you.
Let me see. I did know what he looks like. For some reason, I feel like he was balding though. He's 35, by
He's
the way.
older.
This is it for him. They got that Spencer Knight kid.
Who did not play this season?
Was he hurt?
Players this was
We've been over this.
talking about.
over this. Yeah.
What, was he addicted to
I
drugs?
have no clue.
No, I don't think it was a drug thing. I think
Okay.
it was a mental health thing.
Okay, well, we won't go there.
Looking at all-time stats, I get what you're saying about the back and forth. It did, and the question was, does it solidify him for being a first ballot Hall of Fame if he wins?
Yeah.
I don't think it
hated that.
solidifies
Now that
that,
I say it out loud, is he in the Hall of Fame? If you
In
will?
general. I think he's got a good shot.
He's definitely got a shot.
I think so.
But this is
I would
not
lean
how
more yes
like
than no,
sports
yeah.
reporters think. Like they obviously grind his stats, which we're not doing right now. But like, I just kind of teed it up for your opinion. So what we've landed on? He's got a shot.
Yeah,
I kind of backtracked on the first ballot though.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. I mean,
Think about there's 35. Think about there's a lot of better 35-year-old guys.
You have to be a very good player to like.
You have to be Henrik Lundqvist, I guess.
I want to know what's crazy is his time in Columbus. His save percentage, his career save percentage was .921.
Wow.
And maybe that was just because. Sorry, and like I'm on Hockey Reference. It says 7 years Columbus, and it goes save percentage .921 save percentage. So. I mean, in Columbus, and maybe that's just because
bad seasons there too.
He did.
God, he must
Who
have
has
really
good
good
seasons in Columbus?
Also him.
Here.
Remember that one weird guy he was talking about before we went on? Who was that goalie that got drafted 8th overall? Pascal Leclerc.
Classic,
No more about that.
Josh, here. Sorry, I'm going to say this. There were only 2 seasons that he was below a 918 in Columbus.
That's impressive.
What was
It was a 908 where he still had 37 wins that year.
Okay.
And that was 2015-16. And then his final year in Columbus, he had a 913. But he still had 9 shutouts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Was
Still
he the
9
goalie when
shutouts.
Torts was there? He just grinding through Torts?
He was the goaltender that beat Tampa.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there you go. I like that point.
I think he's...
Stanley Cup has got to be like... Stanley Cup is huge. We're talking about getting in the Hall of Fame. We got to get out of here, though.
Yep.
Bob. Bye, Bob.
He has one of 2 Vezinas.
Yeah, that's impressive. He has won 2 Vezinas?
Yeah.
Gee.
Both in
we might
Columbus.
be getting back to the first ballot.
Yeah.
Wow.
932 and 931
Josh.
save percentage those years.
That's impressive. Now his
Give it some
counterpart.
Bob.
We're skating down on the other end of the ice. Skinner. If he wins this Stanley Cup,
Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
no. Isn't he? He's young, right? He's like 23-ish, isn't he?
Like 26 or something, I think, yeah.
If he wins, does this put him in the front runner to be the starting goaltender for Canada? Because let me just whatever. That guy's weird. There's no fighting in international hockey or like slashing people or something. Whatever. I don't even like Binnington. If Binnington's a guy like that, so it's always what have you done for me lately? I guess my point is if Skinner wins this, then he has done a Stanley Cup for all of us Canadians, because like Skinner was always the guy, like he started off super good last year, then kind of fizzled, right? And then postseason last year, and then even this year, he looked a little shaky-ish at times.
They played Calvin Pickard against the Canucks.
Yeah, exactly. But then if he shuts the door and proves that he can get to the right mental state, because that is a huge part of being a goaltender, is essentially dialing yourself in, then you need to be able to do that, because remember how dialed in Carey Price was for Team Canada when we won it in 2016?
Sochi?
Or was it 2018? Either way, when Carey Price had those sick CCM pads, 2014, he had those sick pads, and he was absolutely unreal, and he was, like, without a doubt, like, the best goaltender in the world at that point. There wasn't even a debate. Anyways, I was talking about, like, the mental cerebralness of Carey Price, and not to suggest that Skinner can get there, but and he this postseason.
Is he the next Carey Price?
No, he's not the next Carey Price, but I'm just saying, like, we need to have a guy that we can be, like, proven to that this guy has played very important hockey. Jordan Binnington hasn't in years.
That's true.
Aiden Hill has, I'll give him that.
Hill's up there. Hill's definitely up there.
I don't even want to talk about the other guys. I just want to focus on him, because I feel like that's a good off-season topic as we look into the crystal ball of the Olympics. I'm sure we'll do that. But, I mean, this is what you want if you're Canada. You want to see this guy win and win in good fashion, right?
Yep. I think with that, however, like, there's not a lot of Jesus, you're falling over there.
Crampy.
It's a shame we don't have the camera right now set up. That would just be great.
I've been sitting on the ground this whole podcast. I tried to get up and I'm cramping. I came from pickleball, by the way.
Our second short would have gone from a 1 minute clip of who is Rope Hints to a 3 second clip of
Guys,
Tyler
I
just
gotta
going.
stand up. I am cramping right now. The legacy of this podcast is me cramping.
Right there.
Hey, I'm ready to keep the goalies going. I'm ready to keep.
We'll keep on spinner first.
I think with there's not a lot of like starting goalies in the NHL that are Canadian that come to mind. At least it really is Binnington, Hill, and Skinner. That are the first three that jump to mind.
How about Tristan Jarry? I only say that. Yeah. I only say that because my Penguins buddy is a big Jarry fan. Go figure.
That's fair. Skinner will make the team. I don't know if he's the starter. I think it might be a thing where it's like you just play and you see who ends up being the starter. You ride the hot hand in the Olympics, but Skinner will make the team.
Listen, I specifically requested that we don't talk about any other goalie.
Well, you also fell on
Aaron, does this solidify him if he wins the Stanley Cup that he is the front runner for the Canada gig?
Is he the worst goaltender to ever win a Stanley Cup?
No, gosh, no. Who's that go to?
I would say it doesn't.
That's a good question.
It does not solidify him for the Team Canada starter position. I don't think.
Okay.
I do want to say one interesting thing just about the goaltending situation with the Panthers and the Oilers. Keep in mind, this was the last time these two teams played was actually still in 2023. It's still this year, but December 16th. Yeah. They played the Panthers and Oilers played twice.
Right.
They played December 16th. They played November 20th. So early in the season when Oilers were still figuring their stuff out, they lost 5-1. I'm talking from the Oilers' perspective. Oilers lost 5-1 to the Panthers in December and 5-3 in November.
Ooh.
Calvin Pickard started both games. So the Panthers haven't for like a whole year played against Skinner.
Yeah, that's fair.
If they played against him last year, I haven't gone back that far.
Maybe they all start Picard game 1.
Wait, why are you guys calling him Picard? Is it not Pickard?
Yeah, you know what?
You guys have been calling me out for all these weird ass names you're talking about that I can't pronounce and getting mad about it. And now you guys are Calvin Picard. Calvin Picard. It's Pickard.
The difference is
Calvin Pickard. You even called him Pickard like 5 minutes ago.
That's not anywhere near as bad as Rope Heinitz, okay?
I'm not saying it is.
That's true.
But you guys...
I still spelled it. Like, I sounded it out correctly. It's just different. Like, if his name is pronounced Picard, or Pickard?
It's Pickard. It is Pickard.
Okay, then...
It also you could look at that and go Picard, and that would, like, if he was like, I pronounce it Picard.
Yeah, if you're a nerd...
Oh my goodness!
Okay, we gotta get out of here. Things are heating up with it, and I like it. And I'm gonna throw fuel on the fire.
Oh boy!
I could tee this up a really, really like a big way, but I'm not. This was a debate, like not a heated debate, just a solid debate for like an hour and 20 minutes over the roundy today at work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Josh, I'm just gonna say simply, okay?
Got it.
Marc-Andre Fleury or Roberto Luongo.
Wow. Man.
Can you see why we would have been like on about this?
No, just like
which side we're on.
Any way you want to take it, but just Marc-Andre Fleury or Roberto Luongo. Don't think about it too much. Don't breathe into the mic too much. Don't caress your sweet beard too much. Just hit us with who it is.
I mean, they're both elite goalies. Now you want to talk about number like first ballot Hall of Famers? That's both of them right there.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
In the Hall of Fame already?
He is.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get him 100%.
100%.
I also agree with that.
Well, that's obvious. Yeah. Obvious is the Utah Powders was not going to be their name.
We'll get
just
later.
say it. Just don't Pinder and Haw. We're not that good on time. We still got to talk about those weird Mormon fans.
It's extremely close.
Worry.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
Wrong anyways.
I did.
Okay, now you can elaborate really quickly on why you picked Fleury.
I think I don't know. I don't have this. I don't have their stats.
Doesn't matter.
But I know that they're both extremely good goalies for extremely long periods of time. Fleury does have like multiple cups there, which helps. Granted, to be fair, 2 of them he wasn't the starter for.
Yeah, Matt
It
Murray.
was Matt Murray.
And
Well, to be fair, actually, I think that first one, the second one, sorry, the first one in the back-to-back, Fleury was playing against the Capitals, against the Capitals, and he won them that series.
yeah.
So it wasn't like Fleury was right on the bench the entire
I would
time.
suggest that he had a huge hand in that
Yeah.
Detroit series too, man. Like that was
Yeah, that's the one he
clinched
earned.
the cup.
Yeah.
They clinched the
2009,
cup.
I would have been 8. I do not remember that.
Yeah, I was like not watching hockey for a long time. And I got back into it with my uncle. That was the year I moved out here, and we just watched almost every game. We were huge. Like, we were cheering for Pittsburgh. The Leafs were nowhere near the playoffs. And yeah, Fleury, that was almost like his like true coming out party. Now, can I make the point? I'm going to make 2 points. I like that my phone's telling me I got to go to bed. I like the fact that you mentioned the cups, because that is a big factor. But I haven't even given him a chance to speak yet. But Fleury did get out duoed by Luongo in the Olympic roster, because it was Brodeur, Luongo, and Fleury was the backup. He was the third goalie that wasn't going to play. And yeah, obviously Luongo, they had more faith in Luongo to take Brodeur's job than Fleury.
Fair. I think again, it's extremely close. It's
What if you throw Lundqvist in there? Lundqvist on? No?
No, I'd take Luongo or Fleury over him. That's all. It's still very close, of course, but
What if we throw Bob in there?
No.
Wait,
Bob?
1 second. Is Bob Lundqvist, if Bob wins the cup, is Bob Lundqvist the same argument as Luongo Fleury?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, well, we talked about it a little bit, not just the fact that he's super handsome. Lundqvist has this, incredible, I almost said aroma. He has this, incredible prestige about him. He's just such.
The word you were looking for is aura.
Yeah, what is it?
Aura.
Aura. Yes, he has this incredible aura about him that is just pure professional. 100%. And I don't get that aura from Fleury, because he is one of those guys. He's an incredible competitor, but he's also a hilarious, joking around kind of dude. He's straight, but it's feel like he needs to joke around like that so he can be crazy, cerebro, serious. I used cerebro twice now tonight. That's enough
it's a big
of that.
word for you.
I know it is. I don't ask him to spell it, but he is able to act really funny, because he's apparently the biggest prankster of all time in the NHL, but yet he just dials it in. And then Luongo for me was just a big athletic, maybe even spoiled Italian boy that was just really natural at hockey and didn't take it for granted, but maybe came off that he did. And he also seemed like he was a really good teammate as well too.
He's very funny.
Yeah, he's because you're referring to his Twitter. He blows Twitter
he
up.
Does have an excellent Twitter account.
But Luongo too, and I also think he matured big time. Just seeing so much rubber in Florida, almost they're different eras, different goalies, different size and shape, but almost I haven't talked about today how Curtis Joseph matured big time. Just became an elite puck stopper in St. Louis, because he had 3 or 4 years in a row where he was getting hundreds of more shots than any other goalie in the league. But those are 4 wicked mixes. Those are 4 no doubt bona fide starters, and I feel that's even what the league is getting away from. Just kind of the NFL running back thing. There's no more premier running backs. Everything's tandem, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think
those were bona fide Hall of Fame starters.
Yep, 100%. I mean, I think now you're just seeing teams try and play it more smart with load management and not wanting to burn out their goalie before the playoffs. I mean, you look at what happened with Cam Talbot with the Oilers. He played 73 games from that season, was incredible that year, and then was absolutely terrible for a while.
He played 73 games?
Yeah, because they had no faith in their backup.
This is just for me. I'm just opening up really cool stuff that I want to do for us in the future. Is doing top 10 lists of the best goalies in the 2000s and stuff like that. So to be determined. I know we always kind of get off. I'm always trying to pull us back in a little bit, but the verdict's in, Aaron. You owe me $100. We bet $100, Josh.
I hope you didn't bet $100.
Like I've said to many people, I don't bet, but I will say I think I was a little bit shocked that you picked Fleury, but again, it's really close, and I'm not taking anything away from Fleury. And I mean, yeah, there's an argument. I just think there's definitely an argument for both of them.
I think Luongo won that cup in 2011. Probably would have been him.
Yeah, I also didn't realize.
I think so. It's that close.
Another thing that I probably should mention, and obviously people can argue about how Fleury's last Vezina should have been Vasilevsky that year. It was pretty recent. But he did win that Vezina, and Luongo hadn't. He had not won. He did win a Jennings, but
he didn't win a Vezina.
He did not.
Wow. I just kind of assumed he did.
He never won a Vezina.
Yeah, that's another thing that goes against it.
Twice.
He was in the running for the Vezina a couple times, yeah.
I think he won it in the late 2000s.
He won a lot of games for Pittsburgh. They were always
for like third all time in wins now.
Yeah, I think he's third. Yeah, because he just passed. Luongo, I think, might be up there in wins as well too.
Yeah, Luongo's at 489.
Yep.
Wait a second, guys. Did Fleury not just pass Waugh? Because Waugh is ahead of Brodeur.
And Fleury's at 561.
But who's ahead of him?
Who's ahead of him?
Oh, Josh is on it. Yeah. I keep asking you guys questions. You guys go.
I'm on the individual players.
Right here.
I know. He's got
Fleury's 2.
Yeah, he passed Waugh.
2. He just
had that ceremony.
Martin Brodeur, of course, is 1 with 691. Fleury is 2nd with 561.
Say that again, sorry.
Brodeur is in 1st with 691 wins. Fleury is 2nd with 561 wins.
Oh, he's not even.
No one's catching Brodeur.
No.
But Brodeur played every game because they had G back up in net.
Yeah, because they'd only pop off, exactly. And Chris Cherreri. They'd only pop off, they didn't give up a lot of shots in New Jersey. They really didn't.
No.
I'm ready to get on to Utah. They've released 6 names. I took a picture of it in here. The Blizzard, I almost said the Bazaar. The Utah Bazaar. The Utah Blizzard, the hockey club. I can't even, that's not a thing. This isn't Ukraine or where they have these leagues.
England?
Yeah,
so many of their football clubs.
the Stolar's Stockton Hockey Club or whatever. That's not cool. Don't do that.
Honestly, if Utah goes and has this fan vote with I think the number was in the ballpark of 520,000 voters.
It is. I'm looking at it right now.
You have that many people vote on names, and I get that it was a vote and people technically apparently threw one of their votes to hockey club.
Sure.
But I do not know how they can't be that involved with wanting their fans to be involved and not read comments and be like, hey guys, we realize why this is actually a horrible idea, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen. Teams don't do this. It's not the Washington. And I get the whole football, the Washington football team, that happened. I don't know about it happening in the NHL.
So the reason they did that is because some random guy for Washington bought up all of the naming rights to 100 different practical team names, and he bought them all up, so they couldn't buy them, they couldn't own them because he just wanted a ridiculous amount of money. Imagine being that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I should have bought the Utah Powders though. I should have went and dropped $40,000 and bought the rights name of the Utah Powders.
Wouldn't you have just lost money though? Wasn't the whole point to win money there?
Yeah, I gotta give kudos though. The Blizzard, the hockey club, the Mammoth, the Outlaws, the Venom, and the Yeti. Is it good? It's going to be those. They wouldn't make this a thing if they didn't make it one of the. They're not going to make one of those 6. Let me let me turn it to you, Josh. Like, honestly, like, please don't say hockey club. Let's just get that out of there.
Hockey club? What do you mean?
Dude,
Come on,
you're a nerd.
For one
You can't
year
like
thing,
that.
If they were the hockey club through their first season, I wouldn't hate it. If they were it for 2 seasons, I'd be like, okay. If they were for 3 or more, I'd be like,
off the
fix it.
list.
1 second. Josh.
Yeah.
If they, because I'm pretty sure it's already confirmed, they're going to be the Utah hockey team for year 1.
Sure.
If they go Utah hockey team for year 1 and then go Utah hockey club year 2, that would actually be hilarious.
That's a thing. They're not committing to this name.
Yeah, that's what they said from the beginning.
It's for next season, not next season. This the year at
2024, 2025.
I hope they lose all 82 games. That's the dumbest thing ever. I can just see Gary Bettman, his stupid little bobblehead, just make, like the first year we've just committed to just being the Utah hockey team. Because how the heck are they going to sell merchandise on that? How are they going to do that?
They sell merchandise once for one team and then twice for a second.
I didn't know that.
I agree.
I know. I'm not
you there.
mad at you guys.
I know, you're just
that is the dumbest thing ever. They should have not been able to purchase the team until they at least committed to a name. I said that a little while ago. You can't even buy the team. No, just pick a team name. You can sign on the dotted line, you crazy rich Mormon owner who owns everything out there now. He owns the Utah Jazz. He owns the soccer team. Like, you have to commit to a name. That's part of the process. It just looks so dumb on everyone. Now, welcome to the ice, the Utah Hockey Club.
To be fair,
come on.
To be fair, you because
call them the Vipers instead. Whatever.
Here's the thing: you got like the Golden Knights and the Kraken.
One of the names.
They both were awarded their teams, and then like 3 or 4 years later. Whatever, like they had multiple years later, they had the draft. So they had 3 years, or however long, they had multiple years to come up with a name, a design, everything. I'm sure that, what's the name of the owner?
Ryan Smythe.
Ryan Smythe. I knew it was something Smith. I'm sure Ryan Smythe. I know he's wanted to own a hockey team for a while. I know he's wanted to bring hockey to Utah for a while.
To interrupt you, Josh, I think he's probably be in this mix and reported to be like really like all in on like this is serious. Probably at least for the last year. Yeah, like over the season.
I also 100%. Want to interrupt you. That Josh, you're like totally sugarcoating this. No. This is stupid.
I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying it's a good name.
I know, but you're just like
I'm giving
painting it with like a really light color on the end of your brush. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, no, because like
I'm gonna let you go. Yeah. I'm just saying, like it's stupid. I'm gonna not be happy.
I said before. I said if 2025, 2026, they don't have a name, that's not good. That's not acceptable. You're right. Absolutely right. I'm just saying for this first season, if they can't figure out a name right away, Utah hockey team for 1 season, I can live with that. Because the expansion teams, they had multiple years to figure everything out. You're asking them to do that in the span, because are they going to dedicate so much time and resources to like figuring out all that? All like the colors, the jersey, the logo, the team name, everything, if they don't have a team? Why would Ryan Smythe do that? Here, let me spend thousands of dollars getting like graphic design teams to come up with stuff on the off chance we get an expansion team.
But why can't they just do it? Like just do it. No, but just do it right away. Just be like, just make a decision. Be like, we're going to be the Utah Outlaws. And you have 3 months. You have 2 weeks to make a logo.
When the Golden Knights got their team,
do you think it matters that
in like
much?
2015, because they were awarded in like 2015 or 16, whatever it was. Do you think the day after they had it awarded, they were like, "All right, we're good. We have the logo and everything"? No, they didn't. Not even close.
But it's like we're just naming a sports team.
It takes more time than you think.
Art is a process. Right. No,
and you don't want them to just be like,
okay,
screw
so
this.
In the history of movies, have they ever made a movie and be like, it's going to release and we'll just name it like the next year?
But your producer has not told you that they're going to invest in you until they hear your script.
Exactly. There's
what
no,
is that? I
there's
missed
no
that.
point in that.
I said till they hear the script. My point is like...
No, I'm talking the movie's made. The puck's dropped on the movie, and you still haven't have a title for it, or even a cover, or...
This is not the same thing. You're comparing apples to cabbages right now.
No, I know that was maybe a stupid thing, but like I'm just like this is a professional hockey team.
Yep.
Is the NHL really like before the Washington Redskins lost their name, like that was embarrassing, the whole process. One individual had them handcuffed. Because he was demanding a copious amounts of money because he was smart enough to, or maybe dumb enough to go out and buy all these names. What I'm getting at is just pick a name. Who cares?
Who cares? You don't want to just random name generator. All right, I guess we're the Yeti. I guess we're the Power. And then 5 years from now, crap, we picked a terrible name.
Yeah.
Now we got to redesign.
Did you love the Kraken right away?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's perfect for
Did
Seattle.
you love Vegas right away?
It was good.
So what if they call them the Utah Yeti? And they have a sweet, cool logo. And they have like a weird, purple in there.
You're missing my point. My point is they took years to figure out that stuff. They didn't just sit on their ass for until the expansion draft and been like, oh, I guess we should come up with a name now. How about this? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It was multiple months of meetings, on top of meetings, on top of design teams. Just so much thought goes into that stuff, and you're just not. You're not accepting that, and I don't know why. It's not that hard of a concept.
That's because I'm just make a decision. Make a decision. They've gave us the names. Okay, let me walk you through the process. Let's have like this. The Blizzard.
Yeah.
Hockey Club.
For 1 year, good. For more than 1 year, no.
They're going to be the hockey team. So
let's pretend you didn't say that. So if it's not the hockey club permanently, it's not the name. So that's out. Do you accept that?
Sure.
Mammoth.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say no.
Outlaws.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That's the team name. We've made the decision. The meeting is closed. You weird, nerdy guys in the back, give me 6 colors. I'll pick 3 of them. You nerdy guys over there, actually AI over there, you make me a logo. I'm going to have lunch.
Yeah,
I'm going to go play a round of golf, and I'm going to do other Mormon things. I'll be back tomorrow. We are going to call ourselves the Utah Outlaws. Does anyone have a problem with that? Perfect. How is that not the process? Right there.
Hey, Ryan.
How is that not the process?
Ryan, I have a question for you, Ryan.
With that?
I see 2 or 3 other names on that sheet. Can I see them, please?
No,
I want to talk about them.
We're picking
One
the
of those
first
was
name.
my pick. It was the Powder.
Is that a Mormon? I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm just the nerdy intern.
Okay. Let's
Finish the list. I have a little story. I have a little story for later.
Venom.
I like that. But I don't think it's necessarily likely.
Okay, so that's out. You said the word butt. What is that?
I don't mind Venom.
I said button.
Okay.
It's out.
Butt is out. We're making a decision here, people.
You know, Daniil Butt is a prospect for them.
Ready?
Hate it.
Yeah, hate it.
Yeti?
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
But you don't love it. You both loved Outlaws.
Love Outlaws.
Love Outlaws?
I did not say I love Outlaws.
Okay.
I'm okay. I said I'm okay with it.
If you have to pick one, what are you picking?
If I already said this. I like Venom the best.
I will be okay with that.
Okay, so you guys got 3 years now. You guys can argue over this, pick your weird-ass color schemes and your stupid AI logos. Guys, it's not that hard. This is the problem with media. This is the problem with people. Do you think for 1 second that the owner actually,
Tyler, I want you to go
is
home
taking into
and
these things
come
and
back to the next,
I'll
to the
make a
next,
decision
no,
right
the
away.
next podcast. I want you to come back with your own personally drawn logo for the Utah Venom. And you see how easy it is.
I'm just saying,
No. What you should do, Josh, is you should have him, because this is even before even having interns pick 20 names or whatever. You should have him have to pick his own unique name that wasn't one of the original 20s.
Exactly.
There you go.
But no, I have a good story for this though, because with the when the Avalanche moved to Colorado, they moved from the move to Quebec to Colorado. I believe I was either while they're in the process of that, or shortly after, the owner wanted to change their name to the Rocky Mountain Extreme, and it got leaked.
That was stupid.
And the fans hated it.
And you know why? Because you know that they probably did exactly what you thought.
Why? Because he probably drank a bunch of Mountain Dew before, and it was like, yeah, everybody.
They were like, oh, let's just go with this. I like skiing. Sure, it's the first thing I thought of. Done, whatever.
Avalanche is a
it'll go
sweet
perfectly
name.
well, and no one will complain about it. What? People are complaining about it? Maybe we should invest more time into this.
Well, you're not going to keep everybody happy. I'm just trying to be a realist. I'm just trying to be like, if they release these 6 names, then they're obviously this is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Okay? Sure. So don't take a long time. Just figure it out. That's all. I guess that's my point. This one could have been a whole summer segment. Those were the fans.
This could have been a whole episode. It's already been like
Josh,
15 minutes.
Josh, we have to cut this out or something. Josh, the fans already committed. They bought season tickets, but they're loyal. They're gonna go do anything that they could be called the Utah Weirdos. And they would still, yeah. A lot of people might think that if they go down and watch a game down there. But
I think if their team was called the Weirdos, they'd start banging on doors for refunds.
But anyways, though, did you not kind of see my point?
I understand.
Just don't stretch it out. Get the lawyers out of here. Let's leave the lawyers out. Think about the lawyers right now. They're just stretching this whole process out because they love charging $1,700 for the photocopying bills for each of these meetings. Just make a decision. Call them the Outlaws. Have a cool logo. Obviously, like I'm picturing in my head, there's some bandit guy with like a handkerchief over his face. Remember, there's a mascot in NHL. Yeah, exactly. Go for it. Just go for it.
That would be hilarious if they use that.
Make a decision, guys. There's 32 teams, anyways. Is there any team that you hate in the NHL? Their name? Who do you hate? Like, even the Atlanta Thrashers was cool. The Atlanta Flames were cool. Yeah. They were all cool. The Florida Panthers. Yep. The Panthers that live in Florida? No, but it's cool. So
how do people feel about the Columbus Blue Jackets?
No, that's a super heritage. Yes, like the Blue Jackets, it's like their military and stuff like that.
Huge.
Let me just say,
that's all. I don't have any other import.
I will say that's not me attacking Columbus. I actually they're not anywhere near my least favorite teams. Like I'm just throwing that out there. Like they just.
It's a good. You're right because it's a weird name. Just because
if you don't know
the historical significance to it, and just compared to like all the other ones, it's like, oh, that's a bit odd. And then you look into it, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's a really good name.
I think you just you and I, we got through it. Aaron liked Venom. Venom is so weak.
Okay.
Come on, man. It's just like so cartoony.
Okay,
you have the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Chicago
teams that have been in the league for hundreds of years. We're not dragging this out.
Even the San Jose Sharks is a really good one. Right. The Nashville Predators, they landed on. They must have found some type of saber-toothed tiger bones in Nashville to find some type of history to call them the Predators and have that logo. But just like the name, what's in Utah? There's nothing in Utah, just a bunch of nice people.
Okay, call them the Utah nice people then.
The Utah friendlies. But not the hockey club. If they do, that's an embarrassment, and they'll waste a lot of money.
We should move on to the next thing.
That's all we got.
Way more time, and I'm more tired after this segment than the Luongo Fleury thing.
Yeah, we spent way too long. I love every second we spent on it.
That's all we got. That's all we got. Unless you guys want to make your Stanley Cup predictions.
Hold on, we missed a couple things.
You didn't write it down.
Aaron wanted to talk about something. I wanted to talk briefly about something as well. And yeah, we should add with our cup picks.
How are we doing for time?
We're just over an hour because we spent probably over 15 minutes on 6.
I don't think either of our segments are going to take very long. I think yours is what you said, 5, 10 minutes.
I want you guys to tee it up then. Aaron, go for it. Tee it up.
This was brought to me by one of my best buddies for a long time, Nathan. I'll shout out his name there. I will say basically, he asked me, he really wants the nerd's thought, because I mean, you can have an input, Tyler, but we already figured out you don't even know who this guy is, which is fair, because I think
If I don't know who he is, then he clearly sucks.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there we go.
yeah. You're right, because you don't know who Rupe Hintz is.
He
He
doesn't know
sucks.
who Pascal Leclerc is.
Well,
I
and
knew who Pascal Leclerc was.
how he sucks the most out of those three.
I'm sidetracking us so hard. I am
Okay,
sorry.
okay. So he wanted to talk about he wanted us to talk about Martin Necas, and basically with all the rumors surrounding him, do we think he could? I could go to my phone and grab the exact text, but basically, where do we see him going? What are the chances of him ending up for on the Canucks? And I guess I'll go for a bit if you want to have a take on this after I'm done, Josh.
Sure.
I'll go specifically on the Canucks. I'm not sure if we're talking about assets, and I don't think that Jim Rutherford and Alvin for this particular player want to give Lekkerimäki, or definitely not Willander, but even if you're talking about a position like a winger, skilled winger prospect in Lekkerimäki, I'm not sure they want to do Lekkerimäki plus, and I think that's what it would have to cost. Unless there's, again, more pieces in the deal. Obviously, they've had talks about maybe wanting, like, it's been rumored that there's interest potentially in Kotkaniemi as well, and that's kind of a rough long-term contract. It's a bit of a risk. I like the idea of taking risks on younger players, but the contract's kind of big. It's kind of basically, everyone keeps saying Hronek for Necas, but I'm not even so sure that necessarily makes the Canucks better. You go from a right shot D-man that maybe you can replace him in free agency. There are a lot of right shot D-men in free agency, and probably for a cheaper number, at least for the rumored 8 that Hronek's going to get, or asking for. And Necas, I saw 7 and 7.5, which I'm a bit surprised because I feel like maybe for him, he would sign that number. He just wants the opportunity. Maybe for him, it is all about playing time. And he would get to play with Petey and basically be the top line of the future with him. You could ask, is he a Rick Tocchet type player? I think he's big enough, and he's not obviously an overly physical player, and there are questions about his defensive game and consistency, but he would be an impactful player. And I mean, was Connor Garland a player for Tocchet? Yeah, he is, because he works really hard, and I don't think that Necas is a lazy player. I think he could figure it out. I think he's a similar type to Petey. Not necessarily two-way, but just the frame and the skill. But I just think it'll be a bit much if Carolina doesn't want Hronek. And if it's not a deal around that, I'm not so sure that they have enough to get him. This is me saying that I'd be happy if they went after Necas, but a lot of teams are going to be in after him. He's a really talented young forward. If I had to guess on a couple teams, I won't go into necessarily why too much, but I think that Utah makes a lot of sense. They will have a lot of assets and a lot of cap space to go in after a guy like that. And Columbus, obviously, I think they have a lot of interesting players. They could go in with a young player. There's some young prospects they have on forward or defense. And obviously Don Waddell's the GM in Columbus now. Yep. And he went from Carolina to Columbus. But he would also have the intel on Necas and everything that Carolina thinks about him, because he was just there. So, maybe he's deterred away from that because he knows what they're going to want. Who knows? But do you have any thoughts on any of that with Necas, or where you think he might go?
Well, I know there's a lot of teams that are obviously interested in him. They should be. He's a high draft pick. He was drafted 12th overall in 2017. He's been putting up some points there for Carolina. He had 53 points, 77 games this year, 71-82 last year, which is very good. It's the thing with him, though, is he's going to cost a lot to get re-signed, and not a lot of teams. I mean, the cap goes up, it'll help, but you're going to, have to you're going to have to either offer sheet him and pay a lot of draft picks, or you're going to have to make a trade with Carolina and give up draft picks and probably prospects or
good assets.
Yeah, you have to give them good assets back for it, which, I mean, that's how trading works, of course. But I know the Flames have been rumored to get him. Or, no, not get him, sorry. They've been rumored to be in on him, I should say. And I personally don't see it just with their window. They're probably going to be rebuilding / retooling for a few years here. And with what you'd have to give up to get him,
it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's either for Calgary, it's probably either prospects, which they're trying to grab a bunch, or a established player like Anderson. And I don't think it would be anything around like a Mangiapane or even a Markstrom. I don't think
Markstrom. I could see it like being like that would be the centerpiece, of course. You'd probably have to like add some stuff on one or both sides to make it work. But it's just with where they're at, it just doesn't make sense to invest all that, especially because you have to re-sign them to a lot of money.
Yeah.
And why would Calgary do that? I could see Vancouver going after him, but that's the question: is how much are you willing to part with? Because the Canucks had a very good PDO this year. And they should be good next year. What if it just falls off a cliff? What if the Jack Adams kiss of death happens again? Because that seems to be the case. Like, do you
I'll chime in on that.
Do you want to invest in a guy like is it Necas or is it Necas? I think it's Martin Necas, actually.
It could be Necas. I think Necas is a harder. It's definitely a tougher one to pronounce.
I think the Czech pronunciation is Necas.
Okay.
If you say it wrong, your buddy is going to be pissed.
No, I don't think he cares about that. He loved you getting Heinz wrong. He thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, if you you get whoever gets him is going to get a really good player. It'll just really depend on what they have to give up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a bidding war for him, which there definitely could be, it could be a trade that looks lopsided for one team. Will it look like the Matt Duchene trade where it's too much for a player that doesn't have another level? Or if he has another level and a team believes in that, are you able to give up like a fair amount and then you're happy with the contract? Because that's really the thing. It's like that's the thing is, do you want to spend that type of money on a free agent this year who's a bit older but not give up any trading assets? Or do you want to trade assets like first round pick or a first round pick and a prospect or a top prospect or an established player on a good contract? Like, is Carolina looking for draft picks, or are they looking for, say, from Utah, like a Nick Schmaltz? Yep. Is he has 1 year? He probably has 1 year left on his deal, I believe, at $5 million. But is that the kind of guy they're looking for? Are they looking for a defenseman? Is it another Hronek? I don't think they're looking for another situation like Necas, where it's a young player that's looking to get cash in necessarily.
No.
I think they are very diligent, analytic based. They're not going to overpay too many guys unless they're a number that they're happy with.
I got a bunch of questions. First question is, when you're a restricted free agent and someone pays more than the team's willing for that owns your rights, what do they get in return?
It depends how much.
Third round draft pick?
Well, no, it depends. So it depends how much you submit the offer sheet for, the amount of draft picks you have to pay and what level and stuff go up. Of course, the more you pay.
And you talked about trading him. Can you trade your restricted free agent?
You'll be trading the rights.
You'll be trading the rights to them.
So
then the other team he would be not restricted anymore?
No, it'd still be restricted. You would still have his rights. You'd have to, I believe. I'm not sure how it works. If Carolina puts a qualifying offer in, on which they will, if they then trade him before signing him, would that team also have to qualify him? That's a good question. But no, you would still have his rights.
So this really doesn't happen much, right? Like restricted free agents.
Too often. I mean,
doesn't really happen at all. And my next question is why doesn't he just re-sign with Carolina? He's a restricted free agent. Does Rod Brind'Amour not like him? Because if Rod Brind'Amour doesn't like him, I don't like him.
It's not that Rod Brind'Amour doesn't like him. It's that for any inconsistencies or him still figuring out his game, Carolina is such a deep team.
Yeah.
Necas hasn't been able to crack their top power play.
It's Necas.
Is it Necas?
I think it's Martin Necas.
There's Necas, and Necas.
I've heard it pronounced Necas and
let's just
Necas.
call him Martin N. And okay. Martin N, does Rod not like him? Like, come on, his points are
who are the forwards
valuable.
ahead of him on Carolina? It's Aho, it was Genso when they had him. It's Jarvis, and it's Svechnikov.
Yeah.
And then they usually have one power play quarterback.
Teravainen,
so there's
too.
and Teravainen, yeah. So that's the thing. And those guys, and Teravainen's happy with his role. He's an established guy. He knows he's not the main guy, but he's a secondary guy. But Necas, he's young enough. He is, and that's another interesting one where.
So my question is why
Necas wants a bigger opportunity. He's not getting it.
Exactly.
Well, then, be better then. Isn't that the world we live in? So he's requesting a trade, because someone's going to offer.
I don't know if he's requesting
a trade. And then
not formally. It's
what's
more
going to happen is they're going to have to either say yes, we want that offer, or he's going to disappear for a 3rd round draft pick, which is not suitable. Apparently,
it's not happening
it won't be a
because
3rd round draft. You'd have to offer. You'd have to. I don't know what the whole rules with offer sheets. If you have to offer more than the qualifying offer. But to pay a 3rd round draft pick, you would basically have to be $1 million, and he's not going to be making $1 million next year. He's going to make way more.
Carolina would just
Carolina would look at that and go, thanks. Yeah, well, Matt, we'll just match it. And to be fair, also he has to sign the offer sheet too.
That offer sheet.
Just because a team offers it to him doesn't just automatically mean that he's going to.
Was that the play on between Boston and Montreal for a couple of years?
No, that was Carolina and Montreal.
The truth is the likely range that he would be at is, and this is on Cap Friendly, 6,871,000 is in this range. That's the low range. To 9,100,061. So that would kind of be your ballpark. I don't think he goes over 9. I don't think he goes under 6.8.
Gosh, how could he?
So that would be, assuming that a team goes in the high end of 9 point, say they did a 1 year, kind of like Kotkaniemi. They did Carolina did 1 year with Kotkaniemi at 6.3 to make the assets going back to Montreal realistic, but then they signed him half a year later when they could give him an extension to an 8-year at a much lower number.
4.82.
I feel go ahead.
So Necas, if he signed an offer sheet with a team, which I don't think is likely, I think Carolina will move him before then, because he wants a new spot to get an opportunity, and Carolina is happy to part ways with them. It would be a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
If a team offers sheet for Necas signs it, Carolina goes, we're happy with that, which my guess is they probably aren't. I think they can get more.
I feel like this
trade.
is not really a thing because other teams in the past and years before this are just you know what? He's your problem. If you don't like him and he wants to be paid and thinks he's worth more, then you deal with him, and we'll try to pick him up in a year or two when he's an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, I mean, people just
we're not willing to give. He just said first, second, and third. It's the first, second, and third for that because he had the calculator out.
Yeah.
For Cap Friendly, no team is going to give up their first, second, and third for this guy.
Yeah, I think they would.
Well, also no one offers.
Well, here's the thing. If you're a team that's a for sure playoff team, or you think you're a for sure playoff team, that's
sign the guy. And you said he wants $6 million.
Yeah, minimum. Which is fair. 6 is fair. There's lots of guys making 6 around him. And the thing is his age. He's still a lot younger.
Can you quote, though, how his best season?
71 points.
Not this season, but the last season.
That's obviously. So is that worth,
$6 million? Absolutely. For a young, center, 100%.
This is me saying 8 years, probably.
Yeah.
Wow, he's that young. And if he's that young, he should do, 4 years for 6 and hopefully get $8 million after those 4 years.
Maybe.
I think both the player and the team would like to have a commitment. The team he goes to, I think, would like to have him for 8 years, and I think Necas would like to have that commitment. Because if he gets paid, if a team goes, we believe in you, we believe in the talent that you have, 8 years at, say, $8 million, which is kind of, 7 to 8 million is kind of the range, I think.
By the way, they've given their first, second, and third round pick.
No. That's me assuming that this team is going to trade for him. I don't think it will be an offer sheet.
No.
You guys have to remind yourself, this has been a thing, obviously, every year. Each team probably has 1 or 2 valuable restricted free agents, and this is never really a thing.
Yeah, right. The last time it happened was Czech's notes. Oh, right. Matthew Tkachuk in Calgary. was an RFA. Now, I don't think he was an RFA yet. Was he that year?
I believe he had one more year left on his deal. He was still an RFA.
At the end of that following year.
You got to be certain that
But he had,
he
he was heading into his last season. Like, he didn't need a new contract for next season.
My
But he
point
went,
is-
I'm not going to re-sign at Calgary.
Florida gave him an extension.
Calgary gave him an extension and then traded him. That was the first actual sign and trade. in
Right,
NHL
because it had to happen that way.
Yes.
Because if
Florida
you
would
can't
have been
sign...
able to give him the 8 years.
Where are we? Do you have anything else to add from this? That was a long spiel about something we might have just been able to talk about after the decision was made.
I don't have.
What do you mean after the decision was
Like when
made?
we actually figure out what happens with him.
No, I think that this is what was asked.
No, I understand that.
It's a zero regret. We got to do it. It's our first year request.
I
We have to
respect
do
that
it.
totally. Now we're gonna have to get back to it and then unpack it again when it actually
When it
happens.
happens,
I think
absolutely.
the guys
we
are
can do
gonna
it.
sign and they're gonna be like, yeah.
No. But you don't. I should mention this. Necas' dad had mentioned in a Czech outlet that his son wanted, and this was around the World Championship time, that his son, kind of basically not like rudely, but he was like, yeah, this guy, like Carolina doesn't see the value in having him in a higher role. They don't believe in him in that way. And Carolina, it's been noted by multiple insiders that Carolina is ready to move on from this guy.
Yeah.
So that's the
fair
thing.
enough.
So that's
never
why he
mind his
won't sign.
dad. Who cares what his dad says in Czech media? But I understand what you're saying. If I would never let my dad speak for me, anyways. But this is just going to be a conversation I'm sure going to be hashed out by him and Rod because Rod ain't going nowhere. He just re-signed, right? He's
And
not
that's why
going anywhere.
Necas is moving on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sounds like a Calgary Flame, Josh.
I hope not. They don't give up the stuff to get him. He's a
What,
great player, but no.
What did you want to talk about? You had something
of
over
course.
there.
No, this is so. I just wanted to briefly shout out my boy Captain America there, Joe Pavelski. He is
right.
almost
You did not
certain.
take notes.
It's not official that he was retiring, but he is. I believe he said to media that he wasn't planning on playing past this season. Maybe something changes his mind. Maybe they go, you know what? You don't have to play every game. Come back with a 1 year deal. We'll run it back one more time if you want a cup. Maybe he because he didn't get a cup. That's another player that's way up on that list of players that never won a cup.
I'll allow him, in my opinion, to be in the top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah, no, he's up there for sure.
Didn't Bergeron in the last year didn't he sign halfway through? Like he wasn't playing right away?
That's a good
he was
question. No, he didn't play.
Because he retired with a year or two left on his contract, did he not?
No, he didn't.
No?
No.
He was one of the guys that was doing a 1 year at a time contract.
Unless you're like Roger Clemens or Michael Jordan or LeBron, you don't really come out and say, I'm pretty well done unless you're pretty well done. Right?
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll. I think it pretty much is. It's not official, but I do think that's the last time we'll see Joe Pavelski take the ice in an NHL game, which is too bad because he's been just he's been my favorite player not on the Flames.
Wisconsin boy
from Wisconsin. Yeah, drafted in 2003 in the 7th round, 205th overall. Fun fact. Guess who leads the 2003 NHL draft class in goals? It's Joe Pavelski with 476.
That was a stacked draft.
Yeah, that's above guys like Eric Stahl, Jeff Carter, Zach Parise, Corey Perry, Patrice Bergeron, Thomas Vanek, Dustin Brown, Ryan Getzlaf. The list goes on. Louis Eriksson, Canucks legend.
That's a good draft.
That's an excellent draft.
Solid core
He's
guys.
the best goal scorer out of that draft. He has the most points out of that draft with 1,068. He played 1,332 games. Just absolute warrior. And I would like to point out, all-time career goals for playoffs, Joe Pavelski has 74 in 201 games. That may not sound like a ton. The number one player is Wayne Gretzky with 122 and 208 games. That puts Joe Pavelski 13th in all-time playoff career goal scoring, above guys like Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby and Steve Yzerman.
The guy's always just been hanging around. Well, that kind of speaks volumes of those San Jose Shark teams. They were always
they were there.
And they were winning President's trophies, right? Joe was just slinging the puck to everybody, a young Couture, and they just couldn't. They always got to the Western.
They got to the Western Conference Finals a couple times. They did. No, they did. In 2015-16, they made it to the Cup Finals. They lost to Pittsburgh in 6, which was.
Who was the goalie? Was it Fleury?
No, that was Murray.
Murray versus Martin Jones.
Martin Jones, who was elite that
Talking about
playoff
the
series.
Leafs. The Leafs running it back, trying to relive. What was that? 2014? He said
2015-16.
Trying to run it back.
But which is funny though. We are looking at Pavelski's numbers. He was never, unless there was a shortened season. No, he was never actually a point per game player in any of the seasons he played.
That's insane.
Which is weird. But you look at his and he was 40 points, 59 points, 51, 66, 66, 79, 70, 78. He's always around that 70 point mark. His best season points wise came in 21-22 with Dallas, where he had 81 points in 82 games. That's his most. That's the highest point total he ever got in a single season.
Doesn't ever land him in star. He's not a star.
Well, no, it does.
He literally is a star.
He's not a star, right?
He's never. He wouldn't be the first person you think is superstar, but just such a solid player for his whole thing.
Let me undo that. Superstar and star. There's a huge difference between those. But he is a star. But he's not elite. He's not elite. He's not an elite player.
Well, okay, we
understand what I'm getting at. He's a star, not just the Dallas.
I understand what you're saying.
He's a star. He's
I'm
a star
picky
player.
about the vocabulary, but
he's not elite. Elite is
I think he is elite.
He is
but
elite, and sure, now he's one. He for a long time has been one of the best net front presences of just tipping in goals. Yes. He was top. God, 3? He was so good.
That pass he threw from behind the net to win in overtime in round 2 was just absolutely unbelievable. He just digs the puck out and throws it back hand right out front, and that even got a little sauce under it. Yeah, that was for me. That was my Joe Pavelski kind of final playoff moment.
I just want to establish that I understand what you're trying to say, Tyler, but I think a player that's third all time in playoff goals.
13th,
sorry. What did I say?
Third.
Yeah, no, I meant 13th. Yeah, 13th in all time playoff goals. I think that's an elite player.
Yeah. No way, because he scored 81 points. Period.
Yeah.
But elite players tickle 90 and 100. Consistently.
To be fair, now they do. This is also during the era where no one was scoring for a while.
His teammate Jamie Benn won the Art Ross in 2014,
something like that.
With
87 points.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know that 80-90 points is pretty much an elite player, but
yeah.
I think he was an elite player, but he wasn't a superstar.
No,
right?
But he's just always consistently one of the top players in the league. Just 100%.
Whatever. He's American. He's not that cool.
What do you mean? No, he's one of the best players. Great.
What state he's from?
Wisconsin. We said that off the top.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
you did.
I also have it.
Wisconsin boy said that. Yeah.
Right here. Plover, Wisconsin says we're made Plover. I don't know how to pronounce it.
We're really
P-L-O-V-E-R.
For mispronunciation.
I'm not from Wisconsin. I don't know all the cities in Wisconsin. I'm sorry,
the
Joe.
7th episode, the episode of the mispronunciations.
Yeah.
And the episode that said we wouldn't be going that long again. How are we doing with that? Would we take long?
We're at 127 after our last segment, which was Joe Pavelski. Who is this guy? I've never heard of him. He's kind of rough.
He's from Finland.
He hasn't even hit point per game. He's I've never heard of this guy. He's not any good.
Who? Who said that?
Joe Pat Pavelski guy. I don't know. He's not elite. That's what I know.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to shout out Joe Pavelski on having just one hell of
I'm
a
glad
career.
you did, because you know what? He deserves it.
I might get a Pavelski
Joe
jersey.
deserves it.
It's also fitting that you're wearing a Sharks jersey right now.
I was like, what jersey should I wear? I want to get through all my jerseys for this. I'm like, what should I wear today? I'm like, oh, Pavelski retired recently or is going to. Let's throw my Sharks jersey on.
You should just put a tape over it. Did he wear number 8?
He did wear number 8 with San Jose,
just taped over one of the number 8s.
You realize that when we get video, when we get video,
I gotta do all the jerseys
you got to
again.
reset.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to. That's always been the plan.
I got a bunch of stuff lined up I want us to do. Aaron and I have been talking about. We'll talk about it here when we cut.
Yeah.
Episode 7, an extended one.
Do we want to do the cup picks real quick?
Yeah, sure. And I want to be quick.
Yeah.
I go first. Oilers in 6.
In 6?
At home. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Kisses the cup in Edmonton in 6 and hands it to who next? Draisaitl. Yeah, Draisaitl.
Not Nuge? Longest tenured Oiler?
Oh, it is Nuge,
Yeah, but
Josh.
not
It is.
Draisaitl.
No, it is. It's Nuge.
Nuge is top, Nuge's like second or third, 100%.
It's gonna be Nuge.
I think it could be Draisaitl. It's going to be really
Unless
close.
they're gonna try to relive like Messier, Gretzky, like Gretzky, or
That's
kind of
what I think.
Like the cup, they're both like standing and have like this incredible face to face yelling smile, and that's obviously McDavid and Draisaitl. But it should go to Nuge.
Not that
When does Jack Campbell get the cup?
Oh no, whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
Who gets it after? No, we shouldn't play this game.
No.
Well, we don't even know
play
what's
this
going to
game
happen.
as well.
This
They look like they're gonna
would
win
be
the thing.
bad
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, like at what point does that Desjardins guy get it?
Vinny the Page show like Chiefs legend.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Represent. Aaron, who do you got in Stanley Cup predictions?
I think I said it very early on, but I'm going to go with Panthers in 7.
So,
And I will say, I decided to go on the Puck Empire Instagram because there was a prediction, and I don't expect to get tickets for next year or whatever the award was, but I said very specifically Panthers in 7, and the game winner is going to be in regulation Eetu Luosterainen.
love it.
If I pronounced that correctly. That's a tough one too. So
That sounds
shout
good to me.
out to their depth third line. Quickly, Tarasenko, Lundell, Luosterainen. They've been awesome.
Great line.
Josh, who you got?
It's the team that I've had winning the cup since
Oh,
the beginning
yeah.
of the playoffs. Florida Panthers.
You mean you haven't changed your mind?
I know, it's weird, right? It's going to be Florida in, well, it should be Florida. Florida in 6 is the rational thought, and that's probably what is going to happen. Just have some fun with it. I'm going to go Florida in 5.
At home.
Yes, Florida just hasn't had a challenge this entire playoff. The Rangers gave them the biggest fight, and even then, there was no point in that series where I was like, "Oh, Rangers could do it." I was like, "No, Florida's got this." If Florida's had this, they breezed through the playoffs.
How many games
I'm
with
with you there.
overtime in that one, though? There was a bunch of overtime, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, those were the games that the Rangers won.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I will say that Panthers to me seem like a team that is capable of doing what Colorado did a couple years, which was not go to 7 games.
Yeah.
Neither did Vegas.
Neither did Vegas.
So
They have a
yeah,
healthy Matt Tkachuk. That's huge.
yeah,
So-
I would,
Now,
wouldn't
but
be
again,
surprised.
the Oilers, I've said this the last couple series, I'm like, they should lose, and they're still here. So I'm hoping to be right about this one.
That's
the
why
Oilers
I'm
are gonna
going.
lose.
That's why I'm going for 7, and I hope it does, just because I think it'll be a great
way more
series.
entertaining,
It'll be exciting.
But as a Flames fan, it'd be way better to watch them get swept.
Wouldn't it be great to see them devastated in Game 7 overtime by someone like Luosterainen? You wouldn't be ecstatic, or Sam Bennett?
Oh man, him or Tkachuk or Bennett.
He's gonna trip someone in overtime. He's gonna trip like McDavid. It's gonna be a no call, and then he gets a breakaway and scores.
Yeah, there it is. We're the script. We've met the script writers. That's what it is.
Gary Bettman is taking that and running with it. Anyways,
I just got to end with special teams shout out. This is
that's important.
conversion rate since 1978. Last year, Edmonton's power play was the best at 46.2. This year, 37.3. That is 4th best of all time, and then their penalty kill, 93.9. That's 3rd best overall. The best is Detroit in 04. That combination is deadly. Special teams is going to play a huge part in this series, and if Edmonton wants any chance, they got to keep rolling with those numbers on the special teams.
That's
so
fair.
you guys got the Cats, and I got the Oilers. I like that. I like that. You guys, Josh, you stayed true. Good prediction. And Aaron, I like that because you feel that the Panthers are the better team. I respect that. And you know what? I just want the Oilers to win. I think McDavid's the man. And I don't even have anything else to add to that.
I'd be happy if McDavid won.
Yeah, I don't know.
And a lot of guys on the
Josh.
Oilers.
Josh would be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. I'd
Obviously, you'd be pissed if the Oilers would win,
Yes.
but okay with McDavid.
Yes,
The
exactly.
same thing.
I'd be okay with Flames legend Derek Ryan lifting the cup. That'd be okay.
He's playing. He's playing, right?
Yeah, he's played games.
Great. I wasn't sure if he was still with the Oilers or not.
He's definitely on the roster. I just don't know if he's been scratched any of the last games.
I'll tell you one thing for sure. We
Flames
said the
legend.
24th was when Game 7 are. I would like to, I know we would like to, you guys, bang out at least 1 or 2 more episodes, maybe throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. We should almost do one live and watch here in Josh's man cave. It's sweet. We didn't turn the TV on tonight. No pizza, nothing. We talked for like an hour and 15 minutes. I just kept poking Aaron's buttons. Started at 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, that was early.
I just kept poking. But Josh picked Fleury. I knew he would. Because, whatever.
I wouldn't mind if people could
$100
put some comments or something.
Yeah,
or just
sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
and let me know. Or we could put up a poll too if we want. I don't know that we have enough. Like,
A ball.
a poll of 15 people
just
that are
not
mostly
letting it
from the
go.
Vancouver area. No, I'm
on it.
okay. Like, I'm happy that it's not always me and Josh on top of you, Tyler. Well, okay, I'm just us there, but it's good. Variety is important.
Great, I can fight both of you guys off. Are you kidding me?
Well, if you started to, I'd run away. I can definitely run.
That's it. Episode 6. Let's get out of here. It's like 11, isn't
10:40.
it? 10:40. My phone told me I had to go to sleep with that little lullaby app like an hour ago.
Yep.
This was a good one. This one might have been up there for my favorites.
like
Appreciate the listens. If you get a chance, whatever, share it, follow us. We haven't been chiming in at all, really, with the Instagram. We got to do better than that. I feel like we're really going to kind of get things going in the off season because we got a bunch of stuff we
I
want
have
to
so
do.
many
I
ideas
know.
for off-season episodes,
And I
man.
think
It's
that the
great.
nerd meter will crank up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I'll be able to,
Get ready to do
get
some
mad
punk
at
cuckoo
Josh
every
again.
episode.
Yeah, about being all liberal about naming the hockey team. Let's just wait 3 years. Blah blah blah.
I'm not getting into this again.
Episode
We need to
7.
wrap it up.
It's been a good one. Like I said, maybe my favorite. This is Nerds with Grit Hockey Podcast. I'm Big T, Tyler Garrah. We got Aaron Hill and Josh Power down in the basement. Next time we're doing pizza, though.
I'm okay with that.
Can't wait to
Probably.
see Josh what jersey you're going to wear. And I want to let's do a game, the NHL playoffs. Until then, though, this is Nerds with Grit Hockey Podcast, number 7. Aaron, I can't wait to see the name you give for this episode. You do a great job at naming the episodes. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. Until next time, I should say, nerdy hockey fans, Big T, keeping the grit going. We'll talk to you soon.